The real formation, the foundation of these doctrines that support a culture of corruption, that silence voices, that promote predators. You see that in New Life Church, the church that Ted Haggard pastored back in the 90s and early 2000s. Of course, Ted Haggard came out of Bethany with Larry Stockstill. Chris Hodges of Highlands Church, he was a pastor at Ted Haggard's church. He later went back to Bethany and then was under Larry Stockstill there again. And what you see is the year that Ted got exposed, that all that came out, that he was doing meth and sleeping with a male prostitute, these other things come out about Ted and his intern program, Chris Beard, and these young guys, and that's a whole nother story that you can look into. But what you see is when Ted gets exposed, it's disgusting. So Larry Stockstill, he's on Ted's board, and he's going to lead both the disciplinary process, the investigation, and then he's also going to form committees and stuff like that. And it's during, I think it's 2006, 2007, it's during those years where you see this thing form where victims are silenced, predators are rewarded and promoted, and you see all of these other things almost like they're above the law. Last time I checked, running meth, doing meth, that was a crime. I think that's still against the law. Last time I checked, I think prostitution in Colorado, that's against the law. And here's where you see the formation of this weird ecclesiastical, self-installed tribunal. It's like a moral failure, and how is Ted going to be restored, and just bizarre stuff. That's all I know how to say, and I don't want to get into too much of the specifics. You can look it up, but it's where, at least in my mind, in hindsight, you can clearly see this thing that we see today where, oh, this is a church issue, this is a family issue. No, it's a crime. All of a sudden, you see these really bad crimes. It's almost like you put a religious cloak over it, and we avoid the crime and we treat it like a moral failure. And at Ted's, you can really see them step in and they start dealing with the crime as like a church. And yes, they deal with the sin, but it's like cover up the sexual, many times criminal, help the pedophile, help who molested. It's important to have context of that so that people can understand what in the world is going on in the body of Christ today, and what are all these doctrines out there.